City of Angels, the famed Coliseum, the scene. The Jets and Raiders match 2-2 records. Boomer Esiason led New York, flies in with the most productive offense in the NFL. The Raiders are last, but welcome back quarterback Jeff Hostetler, injured 2 weeks ago. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. We welcome you to this very early season, but it's a chance for a barometer of what's to come. I mean, the Jets could be 4-0. They've lost 2 tough ones.
Yeah, and last week really hurt this young football team, the New York Jets. And for the Los Angeles Raiders, one of the keys to the game today, Dick, is very simple. Protect Jeff Hostetler. 16 sacks in the first 4 games of this season, 6 last week. They've got to protect their quarterback.
Jeff Jager gets us underway, and the Jets will take the touchback at the 20-yard line. And here comes the former Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl quarterback, Boomer Esiason. And Esiason has been all the Jets could ever have hoped for in leading this high-powered offense through the first 4 games. Criswell, Cadigan, Sweeney, Duffy replaces White, injured at right guard. Malamala at right tackle. In the backfield with Boomer, Brad Baxter, Blair Thomas start. Chris Burkett, Rob Moore, 2 tall outside men, and Johnny Mitchell. Big game against Eagles last week, 3 touchdowns. No one in the backfield on first down as Esiason. Caught in the backfield, and down he goes. Aaron Wallace, his first sack of the season, 17 for the Raiders. That's why, with a low production on offense, they've been 2-2 at the start this year.
You see the tackle, Cadigan, come out there. Cadigan should make, Criswell should make that block. Very interesting choice by the Jets. They empty their backfield. That shows great confidence in their offense. And Boomer told us last night, this is a very aggressive pass offense. There's an example.
And Esiason so well protected. Jets have not given up a sack in 3 straight games, but on the first play today, and on 2nd and 16, it's Blair Thomas getting 5 to the 19, 3rd and 11 for the Jets. The Raiders with Howie Long, that familiar number 75 on the left outside. McLaughlin, they say he's going to be a big star. Harrison, Townsend, Aaron Wallace, who just recorded the sack. Joe Kelly, the former Jet, former Bengal in the middle. Winston Moss completes the linebacking core. Terry McDaniel and Lionel Washington at the corners. Hoskins and Anderson at safety. And in the nickel, we'll see Torndorn and Mike Jones. Mathis in motion on 3rd and 11. The left-hander fires, and Mathis has it. Hit right at the 30. It's going to be a measurement. Depends on that side judge, how he marks it. If it's on the 30, it's a first down for the Jets. First down, New York. And we welcome those of you that have been watching the Miami-Cleveland game, where the Dolphins prevailed 24-14, but lost starting quarterback Dan Marino, suspected right Achilles tear.
Also, some word about Offerdahl, left with his arm in a sling. Try to get you an update as to what happened to John Offerdahl, their middle linebacker.
Jets took the opening kickoff at just on 3rd and 11. Esiason to Mathis, a first down, and flag goes down, delay of game. They were unable to get that play off in the 42nd time allotment. Blair Thomas, the ball carrier. Bruce Coslett, who backed up a guy named Trumpy, a tight end for 7 years in Cincinnati.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
If that doesn't qualify you for something big in the NFL, nothing ever will.
Here's the other thing that qualifies him. He was on every special team that we had. Every single one. Matter of fact, each year, Paul Brown would have you stand up and introduce yourself to the other players. He always introduced himself as L5 on the kickoff team, not a tight end.
Coslett sees his team penalized 5 yards, delay of game, 1st and 15. Thomas and Baxter behind Boomer. Into the flat and open is Blair Thomas, a flag down. Good move by Thomas to squeeze it out to the 34-yard line. Howie Long and Derek Hoskins team up on the tackle.
That may be on the offense, Dick. That may be a pick run by the flanker over there on this swing pattern out to Blair Thomas. I can't really. Holding a defense. It was on the defense.
Art Shell, the Hall of Famer with the Raiders, a great career at left tackle in his 4th full season.
Yard penalty, first down.
Terry McDaniel guilty of the hold. That's Derek Hoskins, the second-year safety from Southern Mississippi, slow and getting to his feet.
Well, see if we can see what happens here. You see, these are very aggressive corners for the Los Angeles Raiders. That's a hold on Rob Moore, number 85. He gets caught. It also serves as kind of a little pick. It helps the Jets a little bit.
Raiders guilty of more than their share of penalties. In fact, they have more penalty yards assessed against them than they have gained rushing this year. 348 penalty yards, while they've gained but 328. So the officials have walked off more than the Raiders have been able to run.
Last week, 16 penalties, and it was not a team record.
First down on the penalty. Boomer off play action, going deep down the middle. What a catch at the 30-yard line. Pulling it in was Rob Moore. Moore's 21st catch of the year, and he's made some spectacular grabs, and there's another good for 39 yards.
And Dick, you have to expect off the great game by Johnny Mitchell, the tight end, last week, that they're going to pay attention to Mitchell and leave these receivers with a little loose coverage. Washington was close. 48 was close. But he was sitting on the outside. Moore runs the deep slant. Boomer puts it right on the money.
Now the former Syracuse star gives the Jets a first down at the Raider 31. Inside it goes. And Blair Thomas, short yardage to about the 27-yard line, where Aaron Wallace and other are in on the stop. Norman Boomer Esiason starts out 2 for 2, and those who thought that arm was dead are being proven mighty wrong early in '93.
And we got a full explanation as to why there was talk about his dead arm. It came down to mechanics, and Bruce Coslett, who was his quarterback coach in Cincinnati, diagnosed the problem correctly and has straightened out his delivery.
Second down, a long 6. On the ground again. And to the 22-yard line goes Johnny Johnson, former Phoenix running back out of San Jose State, who has been productive in that green and white of the Jets.
Watch the way the offensive linemen of the Jets take this fan step. Everybody takes the fan step. They try to spread out the defense, allow the running back to make his own choice as to where he's going to go. See, almost there's no contact until the defensive lineman comes along across the line of scrimmage. You allow that running back to pick the spot he wants. He reads helmets. And Johnson, who is a true tailback and a great find for the New York Jets, picks up nice yardage.
He's short of a first down by about a foot. Third down, New York. And in comes a second tight end, James Thornton, with Burkett going out. Coslett, 47 in his 4th year. Played ball at the University of Pacific. Ronnie Lott, the former Raider, waiting for his turn on defense. Third and short. And Boomer on the sneak has it easily to the 20-yard line. 4 first downs on this opening drive of the game. Norman Esiason, who celebrated his 71st birthday just 2 days ago, is that ailing back trying to cover the...
And he leaves Boomer's practice and goes to Boomer's nephew's football practice.
Trying to keep him busy. You know he's watching today back on Long Island. Esiason, incomplete. Blair Thomas out of the backfield. Terry McDaniel had him well covered.
Interesting, the Raiders' choice here. Joe Kelly on the blitz, trying to put a little pressure on the New York Jets passing game. You see double blitz, 51 Wallace, Joe Kelly from the inside. Boomer just threw that one away. And that's one of the things that I think that Boomer Esiason has learned personally. Several years ago, he never gave in to a defense or never gave up on a play. Now he's willing to chuck it away and go on the next down.
Thornton, the man in motion, and then a big hole up the middle, and slamming through is Johnson. Johnny Johnson for about 8, maybe 9 before Winston Moss can bring him down.
That last second motion, Dick, that you saw that right through the screen there really changed the defensive alignment. Look at the hole there. He's 5-6 yards deep before anyone touches him. Finally, Winston Moss is there to make the initial hit.
Well, the Jets have been most successful in the red zone as you take a look at Johnson. Look at that. 14 of 16 times they've scored, and 13 of those touchdowns. Third, it's a long one. 10th play of the drive, and toppled. Submarining tackle by Winston Moss and Chester McLaughlin, number 91. And Bruce Coslett not happy with that result. Reluctantly sends out the field goal unit.
Well, they had a bunch of tight ends in there, Dick, and they're trying to spread this Raider defense as best they possibly can. And McLaughlin, who is suffering from a turf toe, but if there's a stronger player presently in the NFL, I want to meet him. This guy throws offensive linemen around like they're postage stamps.
This is Kerry Blanchard. He's 4 for 5 this year. This one from 29 yards. It's a fake, and Eddie Anderson. And Anderson is ripped out of bounds at the 39-yard line by Aguiar, the holder. So the Raiders not fooled, and a turnabout early for Los Angeles.
Pass is intended for number 83. Troy Sadowski. Eddie Anderson staying true to his rules as a defensive back, even on the field goal attempt. And Bruce is saying, oh, no.
Eddie Anderson, the man who gave Art Shell his first NFL win against the Jets. Louis Aguiar, moments ago. Bruce Coslett not pleased with the throw. Perhaps there was another option that Aguiar didn't see. He found Eddie Anderson, and Anderson a 27-yard return, and the Raiders' first possession begins at the Los Angeles 38. That snaps a string of 12 straight scores by the Jets in that red zone. Oh, there comes Ronnie Lott. Almost as if, how would he know what was coming? Hello, I'm back. Ronnie Lott, 42.
It's me. Let's first go back to he's true to his rules. Watches the ball put down. When he goes up, Aguiar is pressured. Bruce is probably telling him, if it wasn't there, you shouldn't have thrown it. But it's tough for a head coach to walk over to a punter and tell him.
2nd and 13 for Jeff Hostetler. Rookie running back Greg Robinson. Out of there now, that's Steve Smith behind Hostetler. Has to scramble. And down he goes. Bill Packel, another former Raider, with a tackle at the 41-yard line.
That's a bad start. Hey, when Hostetler scrambled in the first play.
The Raiders with Wisniewski, Mosbar, Montoya, and Wilkerson. In the backfield, Robinson, the rookie from Northeast Louisiana. Steve Smith, Alexander Wright, and Tim Brown on the outside, and Ethan Horton, the tight end. And when they go to 3 wide, young Tyrone Montgomery and James Jett, the Olympian, come in. And that's where we are now on 3rd and long. Hostetler again on a scramble. And has the first down at midfield. Ducks out just inside the Raider 49.
Well, that's 2 pass plays, and both times he's had to scramble. The Jets going with a lot of bump and run here, Dick. Of course, he was out last week with a sprained ankle after being absolutely beat up by the Cleveland Browns. Actually, he looks pretty good there, running well. And then out of the corner, looked like Ethan Horton may have had a hold of a defensive back there, got away with it. It was Clifford Hicks, 25, who looked like he was being held, but it's a first down.
2 scrambles for 14 yards by the Hoss. And pitch back to Hostetler, who's going deep. Well covered, however, and batted away. Hasty and Ronnie Lott deny Alexander Wright.
Boy, Dick, personally, that speaks volumes to me. This Los Angeles Raider football team, 1 run, nothing, 2 scrambles, and then kind of a back page play, already the trick stuff. That works when you've threatened the line of scrimmage with the run. You draw people up. The Raiders have not done that, and they try for the triple pass or reverse pass to get it down the field. It gets nothing.
Art Shell, who played at Maryland State, was a top basketball player as well as football star. Hostetler, and incomplete at the 49, and coming up to meet it was Brian Washington, denying fullback Steve Smith. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Look at the choice here by the Jets. very little respect for the run. Watch those inside backers. They are coming all the way. Picked up well. And Hostetler, you can see, kind of bailing out there on the throw, and Brian Washington, the safety, perfect timing to knock that pass away. So far, Raiders have done nothing offensively, with the exception of Hostetler running.
6:29 left in the opening quarter. Raiders first possession, 3rd down 10 at their 48. Hostetler complete. Ethan Horton, and he appears to have the first down at the 41 of the Jets. 11 yards on the play. Clifford Hicks making the stop.
And boy, did he handle Clifford Hicks on the break. And when he comes off the line of scrimmage, right at the break, he shoves Clifford Hicks, number 25, and just gives himself enough room. And Hostetler is able to get it in there. Of course, Horton, the former running back, he knows how to push off. Tight ends are taught that early in their careers.
Made the Pro Bowl 2 years ago when he had a career best 53. This is the rookie, and Robinson first collared by Hasty just as he was breaking into the clear at the far sidelines at the 35-yard line.
Interesting guy. 7th round draft choice out of Northeast Louisiana. Pulled a hamstring before the combine and didn't get much attention. The Raiders took a chance with him, and he's turned out to be a pretty darn good running back. Even though he's young, he's got a lot to learn. He played at 1 AA level, so this is a major league jump for him, but he's doing pretty well.
But the Raiders admitting they're going back to the basic running game, not getting too tricky, trying to accommodate him. Whoa, what a hit. That's a Ronnie Lott tackle as Greg Robinson comes through the hole, and 42 Lott says hello.
Well, Ronnie Lott playing free safety for the Jets, and once on the field, Lott has always given a lot, and this time Robinson takes a lot. No gain. That's one of the few that you could really hear.
3rd down, about 2.5. Appeared to be movement, but no flags. Hostetler has to look complete. Tim Brown and the former Notre Dame Stars to the 12-yard line. 21 yards.
This is one of the things I think the Raiders loved about Hostetler. He won't just throw the thing up for grabs. This is a delay outside. Eric Thomas, 22, the man in coverage. Brown still with that great speed. Hostetler, patient, strong. He is able to get the ball to the right receiver at the right time. He'll protect it for this offense.
14th catch of the year for Brown, who leads the Raiders. Their 10th drive of this drive, 10th play, and Robinson tripped up and then secured by Ronnie Lott, and the flag goes down.
Way late. Percentages are it's against the Raiders. I don't know if it is.
Howard Rowe, today's referee. Yeah, personal foul, Raiders.
Personal foul, number 76, 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Steve Wisniewski, the Pro Bowl guard for the Raiders.
There's 76. I think he hits Mo Lewis, 57. Runner is down. Wisniewski, an aggressive nature out of Penn State, gets caught.
A first down from the 21 for the Raiders. They'll make it tough on themselves and get a first down at the 1 of the Jets. Hostetler looking left and now right. Has a man wide open. The running back Robinson moves inside the 10. Greg Robinson, Eric Thomas on the coverage, 12 yards. Jets took the opening kickoff, marched inside the 20 of the Raiders and tried a fake field goal intercepted by Eddie Anderson. And now the Raiders, off that interception, marching inside the Jets 10 with 3.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Hostetler 3 for 5. Some play action. Hostetler again, a flag down, and another scramble. Gained about a yard. Mo Lewis on the coverage.
Umpire flipped through the flag. That generally means holding. Personal foul against the Raiders.
Personal foul. Number 68 on the offense. An illegal chop block. 15-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Bruce Wilkerson, the right tackle. Number 68.
It's on 91. Actually, that's Max Montoya that does it. Yeah, that's illegal. You can't engage a defensive lineman, set him up, and then have someone else chop him. So that's another 15-yard penalty.
2 15-yarders after Art Shell's Raiders were in excellent position with a first down inside the 10. Already 35 yards in penalties against Los Angeles. And they have 24 yards rushing. So they're consistent. Hostetler to the end zone. Intercepted. Picked off by Brian Washington. And Washington out of bounds at the 19-yard line. His first interception. Raiders did everything right until they were within 9 yards of the goal line. Still no score. For the West Coast, Southern California, swimmer's day, 80 degrees. Brian Washington's interception gives the Jets the ball back at their 19. Rob Moore in motion. Blair Thomas greeted no gain. Joe Kelly, one of those in on the Jets runner.
Back to the interception. Here's the intended receiver. You see a zone here. This is the guy that should have been the guy that got the ball. This is 2nd and 20, and Jeff Hostetler forces this ball into coverage. You see the underneath receiver wide open. They're just the Jets are just inviting him to throw the ball down there. He does, and they make the pick. Poor choice by Hostetler, Dick.
Third interception for Hostetler. One of his strengths, not throwing up a pick. Johnny Mitchell, the tight end, in motion. Esiason. Almost out of Mitchell's hands and into Winston Moss's. That was very close to a freebie for Moss.
Kind of played a little plinko with that football. There's Mitchell coming in motion. And Moss does a good job of staying out here outside on the coverage through his hand. Well, Moss didn't really see the ball, but you can see there's tight coverage on that tight end who last week had 7 catches, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. There's Professor Lott on the sideline.
Didn't realize till yesterday that he leaves Hollywood with budding stardom to go to New York. We'll show you why. 3rd and 11. Esiason to Moore. Had to come back for it. It looked as if someone hit Esiason's arm as he threw it. And it gave a very good spot for New York, close to the 30. And if that's the spot, that'll be a first down.
That was a very friendly spot, Dick. You're absolutely correct. Watch the contact on Boomer's arm as he lets it go. 91 McLaughlin just shoving his way in there. Boomer on the follow-through had to shorten it up a little bit. Ball was tipped. Boy, that is a generous spot. They're going to measure.
Ball is just across the 29, and the 29 appeared to be the target for the first down. Indeed.
Wow.
Right in front of the Raiders bench. So the Raiders see a couple of personal foul calls against them as they move into scoring territory, and then cough up the ball on the interception. And now a call in front of Art Shell that has him a bit puzzled. As you look at the man who came up with the interception, Brian Washington. Always a hitter, a top tackler. Now to have Ronnie Lott back there as well. What a tandem for the Jets. The pitch back this time to Esiason. The same play the Raiders had called earlier. Out of bounds is Burkett. No catch. He was well covered. So that play didn't fool either side.
No, and I'm kind of surprised they would go with that. They've been doing a great deal. This is a handoff back to the running back. Blair Thomas pitch back to the quarterback. And frankly, Burkett is the only guy in the pattern. And you can see there are 2 Raiders out there, Washington and Eddie Anderson. Burkett had little or no chance to catch the ball in bounds.
Esiason now 3 for 5. He comes into the game with the top yardage per attempt in the league, 9.5 yards per throw this year. And here's another good gainer. That'll go for a first down to the tight end Mitchell. He's toppled by Hoskins and McDaniel, but it's a first down at the 43, 14 yards.
Our producer, John Perazis, mentioned that watching Mitchell last week reminded him of John Mackey. And when we talked to Mitchell yesterday in the hotel, he said, well, I met Mackey in the offseason. He taught me a lot about football in running patterns, get closer to the defender before you make your break. Helped me a lot in blocking. This kid played 2 years of high school football, 2 years of college football, and now he's in the NFL. There is no limit to what this kid can do.
It's only 22 out of Nebraska. No score. Final minute, first quarter. Underneath is Mathis, can't hold on at the 50-yard line. John Mackey, well, it's a pretty good model, and went to high school on Long Island. For ground meat for Mackey.
After Ditka, then came Mackey.
Johnny Mitchell, and everyone says he's got just stars written all over him, his future. 3 touchdowns last week against Philly. Esiason on second down. Oh, almost intercepted, but he had Burkett open. Burkett was 5 yards beyond Lionel Washington.
Well, they're running all kinds of different formations. That time they had Johnny Mitchell out as a flanker. This is man coverage. You can see Washington chasing Burkett down the field. He recovers. The Raiders defensive backs have made some big plays already in this game, Dick.
Lionel Washington, not related to the number 48 of the Jets, Brian Washington. Both playing in the defensive secondary. Mathis, the third wide receiver in motion. And on 3rd and 10, Boomer throws it high and away.
Dick, that was a bad delivery. Boomer got his arm down, ball took off. He told us last night he knew going to New York with the problems he had throwing the football in Cincinnati, he was going to be treated like a rookie. Coached and coached and coached to death. And he said, I knew I had to take it. And from 100 yards away, Bruce or Chip Myers would see arm down and yell, Boomer, get that ball up. So it's a restart for Norman Julius Esiason.
Tim Brown, one of the top return men in the NFL, drifts back to his own 16. Aguiar with just 6 seconds left in the quarter. Floats one toward the near sidelines. Brown won't have a chance to return. And now they'll have to line it up. It'll be somewhere around the 15-yard line. End of 1 in Los Angeles. No score. Just outside the Raider 11-yard line as you look at Ronnie Lott strapping it on, getting ready to deliver some of those hits that have made him quite renowned. Like that one as he introduces himself to Greg Robinson. They did not play as members of the Reds. It was so bad I checked it out. Now that is really karate. Set the sport back 40 years. Well, Lott certainly has moved it ahead with his play, and there's a fumble on the snap. And Bill Packel, 71, all over it for the Jets as they force Hostetler back.
Goodness. I mean, this is unusual because Mosbar, an all-pro center, that ball was snapped early. I don't think, if we look at that again, Hostetler's hands were not ready to receive that football, Dick. I'm not sure exactly what happened on the snap count there, but you could see that Hostetler's hands separated like he was waiting for it on the 2, not the 1.
And it went right to Bill Packel, almost as if it was a handoff, and Packel bulls his way to the 6-yard line.
Now watch Hostetler's hands. See when he separates him? He's not really ready to take the ball. He was surprised that it was there. Somebody missed the snap count. I'm betting it's the quarterback.
Well, here are the Jets with a gift at the 6. No score. Give to Thomas. Blair Thomas. Touchdown, New York. So Bill Packel gobbling up a Raider mistake on the snap from center, and the former Rutgers star smiling as Blair Thomas converts it to a touchdown on a 6-yard run around the left side.
Watch the block by the tight end, Mitchell, 86. He's going to come into the picture. He gets one, turns one around, actually blocks two. And Blair Thomas with that speed. Good job by 85, Rob Moore. And the Jets are in the end zone.
Blanchard's try for point. Aguiar holding. And he hooks it through. 11 seconds into the second quarter. The Jets have the lead. Scoring his first touchdown of the season for the Jets. 7-0, capitalizing on the bad snap from center. And now Aguiar sets for the kickoff. Robinson and Wright are deep. Wright, a world-class sprinter, and the Raiders have nothing but speed. You saw Robinson. Goes to right side. Former Dallas Cowboy at the 15. And caught from behind as he gets to the 26-yard line by Marvin Jones, the Jets' #1 draft pick. But nothing early in the second quarter. The reason the Raiders are 2-2 with an offense not producing a lot of yards is that bottom line. The turnovers. There were a +7 coming in today. They've given up the ball twice today, however, taking it back once on the interception by Anderson after a miserable year last year. -19 on the turnover table.
Anybody would lose with that plus-minus.
And they did. They're 7-9 last season. Hostetler. Lots of time.
Oh.
And then he skips it underneath, intended for James Jets. At halftime, all the scores and highlights and update on Dan Marino's condition, injured in the game against Cleveland today. Hostetler, a ton of time, finally hurried and can't hit Tyrone Montgomery underneath.
Threw it behind him.
Meanwhile, Jeff Lageman, the defensive right side pass rusher for the Jets.
Against Gerald Perry. Thought Gerald Perry was an excellent pass protector. Why in the world wasn't he in more Pro Bowls? Of course, Lageman, when they talked to Bruce Coslett about who's the biggest acquisition for your defense, is it Ronnie Lott? Is it Marshall? He said, no, it's a healthy Jeff Lageman. He is a big pass rusher for them.
Had 10 sacks 2 years ago and then injured out all of last year, reconstructive knee surgery. On third down, Hostetler. Flag down. Hostetler right through the hands of Tim Brown. James Jett also there.
Well, Dick, the Raiders just don't look in sync. I mean, everything is just moving, and I think this is illegal motion. Yeah, I don't think the backs were set.
Jets will decline that one.
Yeah, they're just not, I hate to use a cliche.
Illegal motion, number 82 offense. Penalties declined. Brings up fourth down.
But you're going to.
Yes, I'm going to. It's just not on the same page, I think, is the thing that jumps first. Look at that. You see this guy moving. I mean, this is not a complex offense. They don't have a lot of motion. But, I mean, Haas didn't give him a chance to get set. Of course, he was out last week. Maybe that's part of it.
Veteran Gossett to punt. Mathis stands at the Jets' 34. Driving kick, Mathis to his 26-yard line and pushed out at the 35. Boomer Esiason, the Jets offense back on the field, a 7-0 lead, 14 minutes to go in the half. Just didn't have enough time, but it's coming. Only a few more efforts like the one we've just given you a sample. Who knows? The Jets, and it's Baxter, Brad Baxter, the fullback, straight ahead for a couple. Winston Moss with a tackle, and Burkett goes at it with one of the Raider defenders, Derek Hoskins.
No flags. You know, historically, when the Raiders have pushed and shoved a little more, fought a little more, I thought they were at their best. But I think in this particular season, and maybe over the last couple of years, the more they fight, argue, push and shove, it's more frustration than it is anything else. There's Hoskins just taking a shot at Burkett. There's no reason for that. That doesn't add anything to the game.
Second down and 7. Good fake by Esiason, and incomplete to Thornton, the tight end. It almost bobbled into the arms of Derek Hoskins and Terry McDaniel.
This is that hard run action fake. that Boomer Esiason learned in the Cincinnati organization. Thornton, out of Chicago, is Boomer Esiason's roommate. Boomer has always roomed with tight ends. That is something to examine at a later date. But he always
sounds like a feature to me.
I have no comment.
Nothing wrong with that throw. That was right there to Thornton. RoboCop, they called him with the Bears. Third down, a short 7. Esiason going deep and too long. Rob Moore well covered. Lionel Washington had him.
Strange choice, don't you agree? Third down and 7.
That's 6 consecutive passes incomplete for Boomer, although Thornton's ball should have been caught.
4th down, 7 yards to
Now
go.
the punting unit on. Aguiar to aim one at Tim Brown.
Formation for the Dutch.
Brown, who had half dozen touchdowns and kick returns while at Notre Dame. Always been great in the open field. And they try to kick away from him, but Brown has a chance. Gets a block at the 25 and dances out around the 35. Let's say he stepped first out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Howie Long and the Raiders down 7-0. Let's see how Boomer Esiason ranks as we look at the natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings in the NFL based on completion percentage, lack of interceptions, touchdowns, yardage. Montana first. Esiason second coming into this week's play. Elway, O'Donnell, Marino injured today, and Hostetler sixth. Jeff Hostetler goes to work 3 for 9 today with an interception. His last 4 passes have hit the ground. Gives to Nick Bell. And the big guy from Iowa, who has been injured all season. That's his first carry. Was injured in the preseason and then banged up an ankle in practice this week. They were curious as to whether or not he'd be able to go, but Bell, carrying that 250 pounds, gets a couple.
You wonder about a guy this size. The Raiders say he's not a guy you can give the ball to 20 times a game, and he keeps coming up with these little nagging injuries, like he's almost made of crystal. You think a guy that size would be tough as nails, but he gets the smallest injury that keeps him out of the lineup.
Second down for Hostetler. Batted in the air, incomplete. That one was a total rejection. One of the men up front batting that one 15 yards into the backfield. Might have been Piquel again.
Actually, I think it looked like Leonard Marshall that got his hand up. Piquel was in there. Piquel was in there, but Leonard Marshall, formerly of the Giants, I think he's the one that gets his hand up very, very late. You can see the blitz coming from the outside, Mo Lewis. Now watch 70. Right in the middle of the screen, gets his arm up, bounces right off his shoulder pad.
Yeah, he was looking back the other way.
Leonard Marshall knocks the pass down.
Third down and long for Hostetler. Flag down. Hostetler. Wide open is Tim Brown. Brown at the Jets' 48-yard line, tripped up. Now does it count?
Yes, I think that was defense offsides. I think Jeff Lageman, 56, tried to jump the snap count there a little bit. Yeah.
First down for the Raiders.
I think one of the things, watch the arm right down there. That's Lageman. Oh, that's a close call, though. He's right on the ball, and sometimes those centers will trick you. You know, squeeze their fingers, elevate the ball a little bit.
Well, it was accentuated by the fact he was the only one who had the other Jets moved with him, then maybe not. But
it was close.
Well, Tim Brown with a couple of catches and 39 yards. Trailing 7-0. Raiders at the Jets' 48. Bell slow off the blocks and tackled forward to the 45-yard line. Number 96, Mark Gunn.
Ripped down by Mark Gunn.
Coming into this ball game, Nick Bell, who when they drafted, they thought this guy they would finesse and speed opponents with Eric Dickerson in the first half and hammer defenses with Nick Bell in the second half. He can't stay healthy enough for them to find out exactly what he can do.
2nd and 7. Bell in motion. Fake to Smith. Hostetler cleverly eluding the rush and throwing incomplete. Intercepted on the deflection. Washington has his second. Could go all the way. Brian Washington, 62-yard touchdown. Oh, my. was deflected. One of the linebackers, it appeared, Bob, got a hand on it.
This is the waggle, and you can see there's time, and he can't find a receiver open. Looks all over the place. Finally to the outside. Who does deflect it? 54.
Jones.
Shade Tree Jones knocks it up in the air. Washington picks it up. And man, what is that, the third turnover so far in this first half for the Raiders? This is not a good combination for Los Angeles.
The fumble recovery at the Raiders 6 led to an immediate touchdown, and now the Brian Washington touchdown, his third on an interception in his career. Blanchard tries the extra point. It is 14-0 New York Jets. Two big miscues by the Raiders. And Marvin Jones, he was shade tree at Florida State, but Bruce Coslett calls him the new man.
The new man.
And he is a man.
Who would you kick it to, Dick? If you're the Jets.
He was talking about the Orange Bowl in Colorado and that punt return that he took back for a touchdown denied by a penalty. He says he still wakes up thinking about it. Colorado then going on to take the national championship. Notre Dame denied. Vince Evans talking with the Raider brain trust. Is he going to come in?
Boy, it sure looks like it.
4 for 12 for the Haas today. 62 yards and 2 interceptions. 1 for the last 7, but you really can't fault him for the last one.
Yeah, that's Mike White, the quarterback coach. Terry Robisky, formerly the offensive coordinator, talking to him, and it is going to be Vince Evans.
Aguiar kicks it toward Ismail, and he's going to take it out to the 23-yard line. A bold return from 3 yards deep in his own end zone. Clifford Hicks with the tackle, and Vince Evans, the veteran, comes in at quarterback for the Raiders. And we remind you tonight, don't miss an all-new.
At the outset here, what does this do to Hostetler? I mean, he's certainly been through a lot of football wars, but a bad first half. He can have a great second half, and they don't give him much of a chance here.
He gives to the rookie, Greg Robinson, for short yardage. Vince Evans, who was selected in the 1977 draft 2 decades ago by the Chicago Bears. I think that was even before Ditka, wasn't it?
Before the flood. The thing I remember about Vince Evans is that he covered punts and kickoffs for the Bears before he ever took a snap from center in the regular season with Chicago.
Well, he has been a standby performer here for Al Davis and the Raiders year after year. They release him, re-sign him, release him, re-sign him. Always had a big arm, and that one deflected. It went off the hands of number 56. Yeah, it was 55, Bobby Houston, who deflected it right to Tim Brown.
I think what it shows, you watch Houston right here as he drops underneath. There's been great coverage in this game, Dick. We've seen a lot of tip balls intended for receivers. Good coverage underneath, but Brown keeps his concentration. Eric Thomas, 22, the closest man in coverage, and it goes for a first down.
At the 36 of Los Angeles with 10 minutes to go. First half, 2 Jets touchdowns off turnovers. Brown leads the Raiders with 3 catches. Up the middle, Robinson. He weighs 205 pounds. Was the 206th player selected in the draft. As Bob told you, was still around because he was nagged with many injuries in the combine, and the Raiders had good film on him and liked him, and here he is as the starter with Eric Dickerson, their leading rusher of a year ago, gone. Look at the other scores around the NFL. Second down, 7. And Vince Evans, age 38. To the sideline, and he hits Brown for a first down. Jets 49-yard line. That had a lot on it.
Same pattern. He does an excellent job just putting this over Houston, 55, the linebacker, and right on the sideline, and Tim Brown keeps his feet. That's picture perfect. Very nice completion by Vince Evans.
Vince Evans, one of the oldest players in the league, and after that win Washington late last season, he said, you know, you dream, I'm an old guy, but you dream about this. He said, sometimes I feel like Jimmy Connors. First down, trailing 14-0. Plenty of time here in the second quarter. Oh, what a hit. And it was Bill Packel of the ex-Raiders, and that's a fumble and recovered by the Jets. Well, the ex-Raiders are causing havoc today. Packel has recovered a fumble and now has forced another, and Ronnie Lott certainly has made his presence known as well. 4 turnovers. The Raiders have coughed it up.
See if we can see what happens here. Watch 59 Kyle Clifton, 71 Bill Packel. These are the 2 guys that are really involved in it. The hit comes from, I still didn't pick up the number.
Underneath.
It looks like Paul Frey's 91. Am I right?
I think you are.
I think 91. He seems slanting down inside. He makes the hit on Robinson.
And Packel jars it free.
Yeah.
So the Jets have it at the Raider 49-yard line. Self-destruction by Los Angeles. Esiason handing off. And Johnny Johnson gets nothing. Aaron Walls, Terry McDaniel collaborate on the stop.
And Wallace.
Who would want to be a head coach in this league? For the life of me, I don't understand the attraction. I know you're one of just 28. But when things go bad like this for Art Shell, who is a quiet, very dignified man and he doesn't want to play mind games with the players. He wants to use that as the last resort. He's done anything and everything he can to get this team righted. It's still not working.
Thornton, the tight end in motion. Big hole up the middle. And Johnny Johnson close to a first down at the 40 of the Raiders. Derek Hoskins and Chester McLaughlin with the tackle.
Dick, each one of these runs, positive runs that the Jets have had, is also accompanied by motion. They're running tight ends across the line of scrimmage, and it's really spreading out the Raiders defense, and a good push and shove job up front by the Jets offensive line.
3rd down 1. Packel, a fumble recovery and a forced fumble on that Jets defense. Long standing member of the Raider front line. 3rd and 1. Esiason throws wide open out of the backfield is Johnson, and he has a first down and more to the 25-yard line. What a good pickup he was. That was a draft day trade made by the Jets with Phoenix, and it involved the switching number 1s, Marvin Jones coming to the Jets, and a flag down.
Could it be a pick?
Howard Rowe with the answer.
Tripping
against the
defense. Well, you got to say this for the Raiders. When they get a penalty, it's always a big one.
Tripping, number 48 on a defense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Lionel Washington.
At the end of this run, I think we're going to see the tripping. Yeah, you see. Oh, yeah.
Like the whiplash, leg
whipping. You're right. That is illegal. That's a big penalty. And
takes it to the 14-yard line. So the Jets in position now with a 14-0 lead to equal last week's start when they jumped out 21-0 against Philadelphia but couldn't hold it. 25 yards already marked off against the Raiders. It's Johnson again. And he draws a swarm of black and silver, led by the safeties Hoskins and Anderson. Well, they have made the Coliseum much more intimate, reducing it down from its 92,000 plus to about 67,000. And I guess you'd have to call this crowd cozy. Somewhere over 40,000 wandered in to see the Raiders and the Jets.
There's certainly room for a lot more, I'll tell you that. Thomas, who scored a touchdown earlier, but not much for the Jets on that play. It'll be 3rd down, about 7. One thing that Boomer told us in our meeting is that the offense under Bruce Cosell has changed quite a bit from his Cincinnati days because he is so aggressive. He'll try anything. Boomer said there have been times when the play comes in, he says, "Are you sure you want to run that?" Aggressive passing game especially. Esiason well protected. Goes underneath and tackled at the 8-yard line is Rob Moore by Lionel Washington, shy of the first down. So the Jets will bring on the field goal unit. The first time Coslet sent them out there was a fake
that backfired as Aguiar's pass was intercepted by Eddie Anderson.
Would he try it again?
I couldn't believe that, but that would be the all-time call.
Yes, it would.
And the Raiders have seen some tremendous calls. Remember, just a couple of weeks ago, the Cleveland Browns, no timeouts, seconds left, ran the ball down at the 2-yard line and won the game on the last play.
Metcalf on the sweep.
25-yard attempt. Blanchard's kick is good. So another turnover, more points for the Jets. In fact, all 17 on the takeaways. Jeff Hostetler, the report is not injured. A coach's decision. They've gone to Vince Evans, down 14-0, and it's now grown to a 17-0 New York Jets advantage as Aguiar kicks it off to Alexander Wright and Greg Robinson. To right side of the field. Couple yards deep, and he elects to take the touchback. Well, the change at quarterback today reminds us that the instability there for the Raiders since Jim Plunkett in the Super Bowl championships. In fact, the Raiders the only AFC team with a Super Bowl. Mark Wilson followed Plunkett and had his rusty days, as did Mr. Hilger. Steve Berline, many surprised that he was in the doghouse here, and finally sent packing. Jay Schrader was going to be the answer from Washington with his long ball talent. Todd Marinovich, a top draft pick after 2 years at USC. Where is he? And then Hostetler from the New York Giants. And in between most of those faces, you could have inserted Vince Evans' mug, because he's been around since '87 and seen a lot of spot duty. And he's in there now. The give is to Bell, who's out to the 24-yard line. Phil Simms remains in New York, and this year the comparison, both men over 61% completions. Hostetler with the injury getting less of an opportunity in terms of yards, and Simms having a big year for the Giants and Dan Reeves.
In defense of Hostetler and those numbers, it's much more difficult for a quarterback to leave, learn another offense, than a quarterback to stay and the whole team learn a new offense. He's got to fit in here, and being pulled from this game does nothing but hurt.
Gets into the open, and a first down at the 35 before Hasty can make a tackle. 11 yards for Nick Bell. 3:45 left in the half. The Raiders desperately need something out of this possession.
You know, he told us yesterday afternoon when we talked to him, that when Dan Reeves first came to New York, Haas felt that from his comments he wanted him, and then something changed over a 2 or 3 week period, and he felt he doesn't want me here, I'm going someplace else. He came to the Raiders because he felt wanted and needed. This does not help.
Yeah. Bell gets a couple 3 yards. In fact, he said that when he thought it was an even 50-50, that's when he decided to make his move, and he considered Minnesota as well. He said he picked Los Angeles because of the weather and the grass field.
And look, if even the most die-hard Los Angeles Raider fan, with the exception of maybe one guy, knows that Vince Evans is not going to right this team, is not going to lead this team to the playoffs. Its best chances are with Jeff Hostetler, and you certainly must give him more than one bad half.
Well, he didn't have a half. He still had 8 minutes left in this first half, down only 14-0. Evans fires underneath to Glover, the tight end, and Andrew Glover hit by Kyle Clifton. First down at the 42 of the Jets. 19 on that play.
And the thing that makes it even worse as we watch this replay again, the tight end Glover, the more success that Vince Evans has in this game in replacement of Jeff Hostetler, the more difficult it becomes for Hostetler to reemerge as the leader of the offense. And they need that to come from the quarterback.
Evans 3 for 3 off the bench. And he goes down the middle, incomplete to Tim Brown. Gary Thomas shadowing him.
I can't wait to hear what Mike Ditka has to say at halftime about doing this. Having been a head coach, I wonder what Ditka's comments will be about replacing Hostetler with Vince Evans. No personalities involved, but just what that decision does to the makeup of the rest of the football team.
Well, you heard what he said about Wayne Fontes, the Lions coach, and his indecisive manner in handling the quarterback situation in Detroit. And of course, Iron Mike, Jim McMahon, he's had his times with quarterbacks too. Evans going long. Has a man in the end zone. Touchdown, James Jett. His first NFL touchdown. The Olympic gold medalist in the 4x100 relay, and he left the Jets in his vapors. 42 yards. And Vince Evans has some of his own answers, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. There's the comparative numbers. 4 of 12 for Hostetler, 4 of 5 and a touchdown for Vince Evans.
Well, the offense awakened under Evans. Give the man his credit.
Absolutely, but it's a Band-Aid.
Try for point by Jager. Movement before the snap. The kick is through. James Jett, he's only 165 pounds, was not drafted out of West Virginia. Did play his senior year with the Mountaineers, caught 19 balls, was in Barcelona as a member of the U.S. gold medal winning 4x100 relay, and he may be the fastest of them all.
Defense, offside, number 37. Kick is good. 2-minute warning. Penalized on a kickoff.
Let's slow down James Jett.
If possible. I talked to Freddie Politnikov before the game, and I said, Freddie, just exactly what, with your lack of speed, do you teach these kids? And he said, basically what I do is stay out of their way. This kid is the fastest guy on his team.
It's Vince Evans with a 42-yard strike to James Jett. Kicking off from the 40. Remember the 5-yard penalty on the extra point, and Adrian Morrell takes the touchback at the 20-yard line. Well, the Raiders have signed the Rocket, but they had a Jet all along.
Absolutely. This is a double rotation zone, and when you see the fake here, it just holds the safety enough, and Jet, like he's got the baton in his hand. See the safety hold there? It looks inside. Jet's by everybody. I mean, not a moment's hesitation. Does catch the football. And Vince Evans certainly appreciates the speed and the catch.
A moment of glory for Vince Evans. Now the crowd into it a bit. A 1-yard pickup is all for Johnny Johnson on first down. And that'll be one that Mr. James Jett will take home, and that'll be a souvenir to go with that shiny gold medal from Barcelona. With 1.5 minutes to go here in the first half, Esiason hurries it up, and out of bounds goes Johnson with a 5-yard pickup. James Trapp, and Trapp is another speedster for the Los Angeles Raiders. Beat Carl Lewis in 100 meters last.
But I also asked Freddie Politnikov, I said, look, tell me who the fastest is, and he says, Jett by a lot. So, and they've got great speed with Galt, with Trapp.
Alexander Wright was the NFL's fastest man the last 2 years.
He's not even the fastest guy on the team now.
Raiders stop the Jets here, and they'll be able to get the ball back with some time remaining in the half. But they don't. A quickie by Esiason to Terrence Mathis, and Mathis, who set all kinds of collegiate records while starring at the University of New Mexico, has a first down out at the 44-yard line. 18 on that play, and timeout called by New York.
You see the bump and run by the Raiders cornerback. Does an excellent job of jumping inside. Terry McDaniel just allows too much separation there. Ooh, a little late hit there by Mike Jones gets Terrence Mathis on the ground. But it is a first down.
With 1:22 remaining in the half, the Jets have 2 timeouts left. Hail temperature down on the floor of the Coliseum, probably close to 90. They have that misting machine. This isn't the early rainy season in Southern California.
You mentioned the floor of the Coliseum. It's 11 feet lower this year from last year, isn't it?
Down in the basement after the renovation. The Jets leading 17-7. Esiason first down at the 44 with Blair Thomas in motion. Underneath and wide open, the running back Johnson, and he has another first down at the 42 of the Raiders. 13 more yards, and no huddle for the Jets. Rob Moore, we understand, twisted knee, had 3 catches in this first half. He is out. Going deep, Esiason, and could not find Mathis. Well covered by Washington.
Well, again, though, that aggressive offense of the Jets, I mean, they're leading 17-7. Every reason to run the ball a little bit here, eat up some time. No. Kozlet's choice, get the ball down the field. This is what we do best. This is what we're going to continue to do.
Exactly 1 minute remaining in this first half. Esiason is 9 for 18. There you see his figures.
Sacks only once, right, so far in this game, and that was the first snap of the game.
Against the Raider team that has had 16 sacks coming in. Open again as they go underneath to Mathis, and that'll be another first down at the 29. So with the injury to Moore, Terrence Mathis in his 4th year from New Mexico, producing 3 catches.
Simple square end pattern, and I think the best thing that Boomer does, he keeps the ball high. Told us yesterday when we were talking to him, he said, if anything has changed about my delivery, it's the release is quicker because I'm keeping the ball higher.
So Esiason spreading the wealth. 3 catches by Moore. Mathis now with 3. Johnny Johnson with 3, and the tight end Mitchell with 1.
That's what Boomer told us, too. We asked him about the comparison with the Bengals. He said, I have
the Super Bowl Bengals.
Yeah, the Super Bowl Bengals. I have a deeper group of skilled athletes here around me here.
Whoa! From the blind side, Anthony Smith forces the fumble. Who's got it? Apparently, the Jets, because you saw a side. No. Raiders are saying they have it, but Esiason calling time to indicate that if it is the Jets, he wants to save a long run of the clock here. It is New York's ball.
Yeah, I think Mala 75 was the guy who came up with a recovery, and then it was go ahead. It was Anthony Smith. Yeah. Comes from behind.
That's his 8th sack. That is recorded as a sack, his 8th of the year. Ronaldo Turnbull of the Saints with 8.
Can't pick up the number. Yeah, there's no question that the New York Jet has it, and the officials have given it to him, and they're back to the line of scrimmage.
With 44 seconds left in this half. That's very alert by Malamala, alert by Esiason to call timeout. Yes. So it's 2nd down and 21 at the Raider 40-yard line. Anthony Smith, you talk about a pass rusher.
Timeout. Jets. That's the 3rd charge timeout and a 42nd timeout.
So that's their 3rd, none left. Smith, who had 13 sacks to lead the Raiders last year, and that's his 8th already in this young season. #1 pick from Arizona in 1990. We showed you the Raider quarterback lineage since Plunkett, and since Willie Joe and retired in '76. Basic chronology.
The difference between the 2 franchises is that the Jets drafted theirs until they got to Esiason, and when you look at the Raiders, they got theirs from somebody else until they got to Marinovich. The Jets like to grow their own, and the Raiders like somebody else's.
Ball at the 40-yard line. Just 44 seconds left for the Jets to try to add to their 17-7 lead. Jets touchdowns. Blair Thomas, a 6-yard run. Interception return by Brian Washington of 62 yards, and a 25-yard field goal by Blanchard. Vince Evans has hit James Jett 42 yards for the Raiders score moments ago. Underneath, Mathis again. And Terrence Mathis running freely, tackled at the 27. That puts the Jets in field goal range. Another 13-yard gain. Esiason hurries them to the line of scrimmage, and I'm surprised here that they don't throw the ball down and to get a timeout. But they've sent the field goal unit out with 23 seconds to go, so it'll be a 45, make it a 44-yard attempt officially.
Now the Raiders take timeout, Dick.
The Raiders will call time with 15 seconds left. That was an interesting one. They had plenty of time for Esiason to spike the ball and set it up. And they'd used their 3 timeouts, but all they do is snap it, take the time, stop the clock with a throwdown by Esiason. But
I'm not so sure that Bruce Kozlet is not bringing that to Boomer's attention. I mean, clock management in professional football is very, very important. And with 15 seconds left, they might put their offense back onto the field here again and try one more snap at 3rd down and 10. see what they decide, but I mean,
Why not?
Yeah, they've got plenty of time. An incomplete pass.
Just because they sent the field goal unit in doesn't mean you can't take them right back.
And
That's what's going to happen.
Yep, here he comes. So because the Raiders didn't have the right field goal block team out there, it buys the New York Jets an extra play.
If nothing else, to try to move the ball closer for Blanchard, who would have been trying a 45-yarder.
Yeah, now look, again, Raiders late coming on the field. Do they have 11? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've got 11.
Third down and 9 for Esiason, who goes long, and no chance.
I think he's just trying for interference.
Unless you're in the Pirates Pavilion, which is that little short end zone group.
Yeah, he just said,
right.
He said that Bruce just said that was good. I think they were trying for just an interference call there.
So 10 seconds and 4th down, and now Blanchard to try the field goal. His longest ever is 47. He has a 43-yarder this year, and this one will be, well, it was going to be 44, and now they move back a half yard. This one is 45. Was blocked. He might have kicked it low into the line, and the Raiders deny. Nolan Harrison, using his 6'5" frame in the center of that Raider defense, but appeared to be a kick off the top of the ball anyway. Watch where he makes contact.
Good spot. Well, Harrison's up there pretty good, and in the right spot too, huh?
And that's how the first half ends. A lot of turnovers, a lot of penalties. The Jets capitalizing, enjoy a 17-7 advantage. They'll only rue the fact that it could have been more. Mitchell doing a good job. Kosar and Testaverde in Cleveland. That continues. And now Vince Evans or Hostetler.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm getting from you is you would start Hostetler even here to open the second half?
Yes, I think I would, Dick, because the acquisition of Hostetler was a message to the team that we heard from a lot of players talking to them that last year they didn't trust Jay Schroeder. He kept turning the ball over. They had felt defensively like they had to play 2 games, that they had no chance to win. Well, Hostetler's the guy they bring in, high percentage passer, knows how to control the offense, a former GTE academic All-American at West Virginia. You can throw anything at him, and he's going to be able to take it. He scrambles around a lot, and he protects the football. And when he has a couple of tip balls, and he didn't play great, but he didn't play awful, and they pull in for Vince Evans, who is the old standby here, now what's it do to his psyche and to the rest of the players on the team? I mean, this is not a 5-game season. This is a 16-game season. And if you want to build for the rest of the season and for the next 2, 3, 4 years, he's the guy. Vince Evans is not the guy.
Vince Evans is there as the repairman, as the Band-Aid, as you put it, the journeyman for the Raiders, but produced. And in his behalf, Archell, you would figure, is going to give him a chance to continue, and that he drove the Raiders to their only touchdown, something that Hostetler was unable to do.
To Vince Evans' credit, that is correct. There is no argument with that.
Alexander Wright with all of his speed deep along with Robinson, as the Raiders will get it first. No, Ismail is the other deep man. It comes down to the Rocket. 25. And carry some tacklers out to the 30-yard line. Marcus Turner and others. And Vince Evans will be the quarterback to open the second half as we look at the Coors Light first half official statistics. And total yards 185 to 197, so that's a pretty even contest. It's the 4 turnovers committed by the Raiders that led to all of the points scored by the Jets, all 17.
Neither team able to run very much, and if you look at the Raiders numbers, their rushing yardage also includes a couple of nice scrambles by Jeff Hostetler, so they're still only averaging 3 yards a carry here.
Southern Cal star, 38-year-old Vince Evans goes to work and hands off. Ooh, crushed was Greg Robinson as he tried the hole between guard and tackle, and Bill Pickell, one of those in on the stop, along with Kyle Clifton. Take a look at the first half possessions for the Raiders. Interception and fumble, but then that interception 62 yards by Brian Washington, and that's when Hostetler got the hook. And the fumble led to a field goal, and finally the touchdown drive engineered by Vince Evans. dominate. Evans going long. It's going to be another touchdown Raiders. Wow. Alexander Wright. What a throw by Evans. 68 yards. Oh, my. Now we show Al Davis when things aren't going well, but that is the Al Davis vertical game, and that's why Evans has had that rocking chair here in the Raider camp for so many years. Up on top, and the Raiders are back in this game in a hurry.
Boy, Dick, thrown beautifully. Absolutely picture perfect. Laces up on the outside foot for the receiver, like he handed it to him as opposed to throwing it to him.
Boy, 5 completions for 151 yards, over 30 yards a reception. Figures extra point is there at 17-14. 2 plays, 70 yards, 68 of them to Alexander Wright as the Raiders show speed.
And at the top of the screen, you're going to see what happens. It's man-to-man coverage. Vince Evans reads it correctly. And the best defensive coverage man and man-to-man that the Jets have is James Hasty. Now, I want to make sure I do this right. It was like that.
Fast enough.
So fast. He went by him so fast. Watch this. A little push by Alexander Wright. Hasty makes the mistake of thinking it might be an out. No chance. As you said earlier, for the last 2 seasons, the NFL's fastest man. Watch the little move with his right arm. It just gives him a little cushion. Look at the stride on this young man. Perfectly thrown by Vince Evans. And again, the quarterback looks skyward. This is beautifully thrown. Leonard Marshall in his face. From his back, he sees the catch, and he knows no one is going to catch Alexander Wright.
Wright's first touchdown of this season. So we've seen Jet and Wright, 2 absolutely burners who are world-class sprinters, beating the Jets defense. 17-14 the score. Whoa, the Jets, almost a costly bobble, and Pryor is there to cover Adrian Morrell's mistake. James Track making sure for the Raiders, 37, but Morrell having trouble, perhaps with his son.
He had to back up a little bit. It looked like it bounced off his face mask. It did. And an excellent job of recovery there for the Jets, but it's very, very poor field position.
At the 8-yard line. Now Evans has thrown the Raiders back into this game using the bomb. 42 and 68-yard touchdown. Give inside to Johnny Johnson. Out to the 12-yard line. A pickup of 4. The vertical game of the Raiders. You just say that phrase and you think Oakland or Los Angeles, and 70-14-4 per reception. And it dropped a little in the 10 years in 80. Went up in 89, but last year only 10.7 as the long game was not there.
That 89 season, Mervyn Fernandez with over 1,000 yards in receptions, and Bo Jackson was here.
He was catching short ones and making them very long. On second down, picking his way, and some good running by Johnson. Threading through tacklers, and it appears he has a first down or close to one at the 18-yard line.
Look at this. Quite a change, isn't it? All attributed to number 11, Vince Evans.
It's Evans' performance has kind of put you in a very delicate spot here. And so that fans don't misunderstand. It's not that you have anything against Evans, but Hostetler was here because they didn't think Evans was good enough to be their number 1. That's where they got it.
That's right. This is a team sport. This is a long season. You sign this guy for years, not games. He is the guy that's going to do it for the Los Angeles Raiders. Now they got to get his chin off the ground this next week and build back his confidence. Hostetler has to build back his Hostetler between him and the rest of the players. And there's Hostetler congratulating Vince Evans.
Oh, he's a high-class guy. You know, that's sincere. That's sincere. He wants to play, but he's and they both are. Sure, they're good guys. Not a first down, 3rd and inches. Boomer's been sneaking in this situation, but not this time. And they needed inches. They got 1.5 yards from Johnson and a first down. Winston Moss finally made the stop.
I think we talked extensively, I think, in the first half about the very aggressive passing game of the New York Jets. Now with that big score and the score being 17-14, and you put on top of that the fold last week of the Jets against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Jets have to be a little bit conservative here. Go with the underneath stuff. High percentage. Go with the high percentage completion. Move the stakes.
Now they saw the 21-0 lead erode and lost 35-30 last week. They had a 17-0 lead today. Good hit by Aaron Wallace. He was the only man really that could have denied Brad Baxter, who had yardage ahead, but only well, if a yard, that would be generous on that carry.
They ran a tight end wham. Thornton on the nose tackle, 74 Harrison, but Wallace catches it from behind for little or no gain.
And they spotted right on the 20-yard line. Crowd of over 40,000 at the Coliseum, reduced in capacity this year to 67,000. Rob Moore, knee injury, and Blair Thomas, hamstring, will not return, and Jim Sweeney is out now with an ankle. Aggravated an injury of the week ago. And he can't hit Burkett. So is Sweeney out and Dwayne White a starter out in the center of the Jets line. They've gone to Roger Duffy and Cal Dixon. Dixon is at center and Duffy at guard.
That hurts, especially against this defense. You need a center guard combination that's been out there a lot together. And while Duffy is a fine center and Dixon moves into center and Duffy moves to the guard, so you've got a real mix-up here of exactly what the Jets have up front.
3rd and 10. Raiders might bring a backer here. Yes, they do. Wallace and fumbled by Baxter. He just threw it out of his own hands, and the Raiders appear to have it. They do. Joe Kelly. How sweet it is for Kelly, who left the Jets as a free agent.
Good defensive call here by the Raiders. They come with the blitz. Aaron Wallace, 51. Kelly, 57 in the coverage. Baxter has it bounce right off his thigh board, and he gets the double. Makes the recovery. Great field position for the Raiders. And by the way, Bruce Coslett said, I like Joe Kelly. I gave up a second-round draft choice for him from Cincinnati to come to New York, but he got beat out this year, and we drafted Marvin Jones. He was not going to play.
Well, Baxter, without being contacted, fumbles the ball. The Raiders presented with a great opportunity at the 19, and Robinson trapped, reverses his field, gets a block from Evans. And at the 25, a loss of 6. Vince Evans trying to help out with a block. Wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to do that, was I, Art?
Yeah, I don't mind throwing him, but I don't want to block for him. Not at my age.
Evans looking over with those wanting eyes. Give me a long pass play.
Please.
I got that one down.
Watch number 11. He kind of makes contact. Yeah, the running back is already by, but what the heck? I got a block.
Meanwhile, Greg Robinson with only 12 yards rushing today in 9 carries, their leading runner. 2nd and long. Evans looks long. Incomplete. Tight end Ethan Horton.
Thrown inside. You know, the one thing about Vince Evans, when you watch him throw, even at his age, he still has that arm strength. Throws a very tight spiral. Can throw those outs like a young man. Excellent mechanics. Was known at USC when he was here more of a running quarterback than he was a throwing quarterback.
Even with the Bears early on, he had some great scrambles.
Yeah, but that was right after Bobby Douglas. So everybody scrambled with the Chicago Bears back then.
On the 24, 3rd and 15. The blitz, and Evans able to fight off. And now throws the ball. Going to be a hole. That was a touchdown for Ronnie Lott. Oh, my. Evans trying to get rid of it, and just the kind of play Lott is known for, to be right there for a possible touchdown. That was Marcus Turner, who couldn't get Evans to the turf.
And look at the leg strength that the Evans has, and then that's desperation, and Lott would like to have this one back. It would certainly fit his script.
Well, yes, right. It would have improved his Hollywood career.
Yes.
That would have been 62 for Lott, who is the leading interceptor. This is a 42-yarder to tie it for Jeff Jager. And we have a new game. Coliseum, this crowd into it now. 17 unanswered by the Los Angeles Raiders, and Jager's kick through the end zone. Ronnie Lott. That was a 10-point play. He had a sure touchdown in the open if he intercepts the ball. Does not. Next play, Jager kicks the 42-yard field goal, and understandably not unhappy with himself. So it's tied at 17. His interception could have made it 24-14.
And you know he wants it against these folks in this stadium.
Now the Jets, and to be watched closely, the effectiveness of that rebuilt offensive line, with Sweeney and White, two starters, center and guard, out with injuries. Boomer goes to the quick stop. Almost intercepted. Aaron Wallace had it thrown right to his numbers. Intended for Johnny Mitchell, the tight end.
There was a lot of contact there. And Aaron Wallace is even, you see they have Mitchell out flanked. A lot of contact.
But that was within the 5 yards.
But when the ball is in the air, you can't have your hands on him. Now it's interference.
Right.
Aaron Wallace got away with one, and I think we saw a little smile on his face. Bruce Coslet very upset. Penalty not called.
Yeah, that was right in front of the Jets head coach. And not much there at all for Johnny Johnson. Chester McLaughlin playing in the center of the Raider defense.
And now what makes it even worse is against this defense with its pass rush, you don't want third down and long, and that's exactly what the Jets have here.
Raiders last in the league starting today with 238, 239 rounding it off. Have 262 with still almost a full half to go against the Jets, who are number 1 in the NFL starting today.
This is a huge down for the Jets.
Incomplete through the midst of Johnny Mitchell. The tight end couldn't pull it in. A good throw.
That keeps the momentum on the side of the Los Angeles Raiders and makes it, again, more difficult now for the Jets to get out of this hole. Good pattern run by Mitchell. He's lobbying for it. Skips right through his hands. That's at least 5 drops today by New York Jet receivers. That one, certainly, John Mackey would have caught that one.
Aguiar to punt, his third. Tim Brown alone at the 40 of the Raiders. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Raiders. Beautiful high spiral. Brown at the 35. Alerts the first 2 men and then pushed out of bounds at the 40. Kyle Clifton down for the push out. A 5 penalty flag is down on the play. Our punt, Steve Smith called for a personal foul, and they marked that off from where it was fielded by Tim Brown at the 35, so that takes it all the way to the 20. So the Jets get 60 yards total out of that punt and penalty from their 20 to the LA 20. Earlier today in the National Football League, the Cincinnati Bengals put a scare into Kansas City, and the Chiefs finally at home, prevailing 17-15. 5 field goals for the Bengals. Pittsburgh is leading San Diego 13-3 at Three Rivers in the third. We'll have the game starting all in the Jets' favor. Manufacturing 17 points out of turnovers, and then after the Hostetler benching, Vince Evans using long ball. 42-yard touchdown throw to James Jett, and opening the second half with a 68-yard bomb to Alexander Wright to tie it up at 17 with a 42-yard field goal by Jager.
Speaking of long ball, look who's in there. The rocket for Vince Evans. Speaking of long ball.
Yeah, what I liked about talking with Ismail yesterday was his boyish enthusiasm.
Yes.
He talked for 10, 15 minutes, and a smile never left his face.
You're right.
Mighty happy to be here.
Getting his degree in American Studies, goes back to Notre Dame in the offseason.
Hand off to Robinson, and he is able to bounce off the tackle and get about 5 yards.
You know, Dick, I got to make this comment. For what little success the Raiders have had running the football, to have these patterns working so deep as there is an injury on the field, I think it's Robinson, is pretty remarkable, because they're doing this just on pure unadulterated speed.
Robinson, the ball carrier, still down. Robinson, 17 yards hard earned on 10 carries today, and a fumble. So while they attend to the rookie running back, we'll take this break. 9:20 left in the third. Off the field, not in the picture, Dr. Robert Rosenfeld, not with the Raiders, their team physician today, and we send along our best to him.
Lee Robinson on the sweep. James Hasty, number 40, is going to come in from the left. There's the first hit. Zone man, watch from the left. They're almost helmet to helmet. Hasty was also injured, but he's up and playing. So is Robinson.
2nd and 5 for Evans. Throws underneath. Short yardage for Ty Montgomery, and flag goes down. Face mask against the Jets.
Almost ripped his helmet off. And you see, Ronnie, only in karate movies can you use your helmet against an opponent.
Meanwhile, Tyrone Montgomery, the young man that caught that pass from Mississippi, and what a family football line that is. His many brothers have played. Clee Montgomery played with the Raiders and other teams, but of course the best of the Montgomerys, Wilbert, who was an all-pro running back with the Philadelphia Eagles. 4 different brothers from the Montgomery clan making it to the NFL, and only the Browner group could make that claim. 4 in the big ones. Horton's underneath and Horton wide open. About 10 yards before Bobby Houston can wrestle him down.
Well, Dick, now you see with those deep throws, it's loosened the coverage up a little bit, and the underneath stuff is now working. Horton runs the passing route. You can see across the screen. They've got single coverage with Bobby Houston pursuing him. Excellent throw by Vince Evans. Those 2 long passes have changed the attitude of the defensive backs of the New York Jets. There's a lot more room underneath now.
And this is a mad bomber down, 2nd and 1, 3 down for Evans. This was Leonard Marshall drawn offside, the former Giant.
Encroachment, number 70 defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Marshall signed within a day after Ronnie Lott inked with the Jets as an unrestricted free agent. 3 times a Pro Bowler with the Giants, and Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator of the Jets, signaling out the new plan on first down. Raiders at their 47.
Almost taking the Jets out of their blitz attitude. With all this speed out there now, that they're scared to death to put single coverage on these fast guys.
Montgomery to midfield, the 50-yard line. And also Drew Bledsoe has been injured, the young New England Patriots quarterback. This is Jet on a reverse and well read by the Jets. How in the world did Dick Steinberg not sign James Jet? How could the Jets not get Jet? He was there, a free agent.
Yeah, that's a good question. It looked like Jeff Lageman blew this play up as the reverse started when Jet got the ball from the quarterback. Lageman, 56. Watch him right here. He is standing right in the way of the reverse. And Jet sees it. Vince Evans doesn't. He changes his mind, goes up there with the fat guys, and you don't want little guys up there with the fat guys.
Third down and 7. And Evans, they call that a pass, as the blitz from Mo Lewis, and now a flag down.
He was still inside the tackle.
I got intentional grounding. He did not get it close.
Yeah, he did not get clear of the tackle.
And so Evans, while he got the ball away, will be penalized. Intentionally grounding, that carries loss of down, and will bring up 4th down.
They're going to make the call here. It's either a pass behind the line of scrimmage or he didn't clear the tackle.
We got intentional grounding. Even though he was out of the pocket, the ball was not thrown close to the line of scrimmage. Loss of down, 4th down coming up.
You must make a clear throw past, near or past the line of scrimmage is how the rule book reads.
Mo Lewis, 57, is untouched. And he's just outside the hash mark, so he does clear the tackle, but as we're pointed out by Slingshot Snyderman, the ball did not make it towards the line of scrimmage.
On to punt it, Jeff Gossett. Returnable. Mathis backpedals to the 18. And to the 24, where the Jets will have a chance to break this 17-all tie. 6.5 minutes to go in the 3rd period. It's amazing what they call jewelry here in Los Angeles. He's ready. The Jets have the ball at the 24. Their 17-0 lead shot down by Vince Evans. 6:36 to go in the 3rd period. Boomer Esiason. Coverage just too good. Terry McDaniel on Terrence Mathis. Now, does Boomer have to go to more short stuff now with that rebuilt line, do you think?
Yes, I believe so, and he also has to go with a move the chains kind of offense. He's waiting. You're right, McDaniel had such great coverage, a lot of hand fighting in that first 5 yards. The receiver could not clear the defender, and Boomer was waiting for him. Finally got it off. Not a picture-perfect throw, but it wasn't intercepted.
After 4 great games, Esiason, this is subpar for him thus far. Underneath to Burkett, tries to twist away, but with all that work, gains only 2 yards.
Yeah, the offense is kind of having some problems here. One, I don't think Boomer has great confidence in the offensive line now to protect him. The head coach knows that, so he's got to tone it down a little bit, go over the short stuff, the 3-step stuff to try to get it down, and you can see over the last 3 possessions how little the Jets have done.
That was Burkett's first catch of the game.
Again, a critical 3rd down for the Jets.
Knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and
who's got
caught
it?
by Esiason for a loss. Boomer catches his own pass.
McLaughlin hit it. Watch 91. He's going to come back in the picture. Boomer's looking over the middle. You can't really see the arm. Oh, he was wide open.
Howie Long makes the tackle.
See if we can see 91 get his arm up. Left-hand side of the screen. That's the 2nd time he's done that today. Goes right back to Boomer. Loses yards. And they must punt.
He had a man open over the middle.
Yes, he did.
Aguiar will kick it from around his 7-yard line. High, beautiful spiral. What a kick. Tim Brown at his 33. Gets by the first man. Has some blockers now. And Brown finally cut down at the 49. A flag is down. Richie Anderson makes the stop. 49-yard punt, 16 on the return, and flag.
Flag is back at the line of scrimmage, too, Dick.
Mr. Rowe.
Number 52 is holding on receiving team. We got a post-possession foul, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And the penalty then negates Brown's 16-yard return. They mark it off from where Brown caught the ball. And that's now 84 yards in penalties against the Raiders, who continue to have more yardage marked off by foot by officials than they gain themselves running it in the first 5 games. Evans throw, wide open, another big gainer out to the 44-yard line to James Jett. And they're giving him room. 21 yards for Jett.
Dick, I don't blame them for giving him room.
Flag down.
Yes.
In the backfield of the Raiders. And it's against the Jets this time. What's the penalty, says Coslett?
Generally, when you have illegal use of the hands, it's one to the face by the defensive lineman of an offensive lineman. Let's see if that happens.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 96 defense. 5 yards tacked on at the end of the run. First down.
Mark Gunn, you can be an official. You got the eyes of an eagle, big guy.
I don't want to be down there close enough to be an official. Watch the right-hand side 96. Hand on the face mask on Max Montoya. Illegal. Flag thrown. Big pickup.
Ball now to 49 of the Raiders. 17 all the score late in the third. Evans
Look at this.
on the run. That almost looked like a design run and a first down at the 37 of the Jets. And Evans, though 38, still has young legs. 14 on that bootleg.
It sure looked to me like it was designed. Yeah, I don't think there's any question that it was designed. Good block downfield. That kind of proves it that that's exactly what they had in mind, just to slow down the pass rush.
Well, this second half has belonged to the Raiders. 17-7 Jets at the half. Then a quick strike, 68 yards from Evans to Alexander Wright. They converted a fumble into a field goal to tie it. The Jets unable to move, and here come the Raiders. Bell, who is he slashed at the 35 as Ronnie Lott came up to finish business. Marvin Jones also in on the tackle. 4:20 left in the third.
Those 2 long receptions have almost numbed this Jet defense out of what they wanted to do. They have really slowed down. Not a lot of bump and run anymore. Looking a little bit tentative out there.
2nd and 8. Ronnie Lott, the veteran, deep in that Jets defense. Evans barely getting that one off in time, and it's a quickie to the Rocket. Ismail. Eric Thomas with a tackle. Not enough for the first down, but the fans love the fact that, well, maybe with the spot it is. It's going to be close at the 27.
You know, Evans might be the player of the week in the NFL if this continues.
9 for 11. Yeah. He's got nearly 200 yards off the bench.
This is a remarkable story here. Now he said, come on, get that play to me. We're hot. Let's go. Don't hold me up here. I got the momentum. Meanwhile, Hostetler suffers.
But it won't hurt so much if the Raiders win. The winner will go to 3-2. And unable to get the playoff in time, Evans will spend a timeout. 3:07 remaining in the third.
Last Saturday, the site was Mount Pleasant. He ever taught at Central Michigan. So congratulations, sir.
Yeah, that was a nice day. You can go home. Well, I got to watch you guys getting that stuff. Usually mail doesn't out of Mount Pleasant, Michigan. It takes a lot longer to get.
No, the problem is
footage out of there.
The problem is you missed 2 minutes of any one of our meetings, and you don't know what we're going to put up there.
Your turn will come. Well, meanwhile, what's really important down on the field, the 17 all the score, 3:09 to go in the third, and the Los Angeles Raiders offense awakening here in the second half. Vince Evans the key, while the Jets suffering 2 major injuries in the center of their line, managing only 5 yards total. This is third and less than a yard, and Bell has that and more. The big guy rumbles to the 19. Brian Washington finally gets him to the ground.
Nice lead block by Steve Smith, number 35. Ethan Horton, 88. Max Montoya, 65, pulling out. And Bell with that 250-pound size. Doing an excellent job. Interesting. Now that Tony Page is retired, I think this guy's the best blocking back there is in the NFL. And he refers to those guys he has to hit like Offerdahl as rockheads. Brian, everybody.
That's a compliment by the way.
Yes, Pepper Johnson, rockhead.
They're the ones that are tough to block. Bell, not very fast, but gets that 250 pounds going forward and tough to bring down. He's inside the 15.
And again, Smith went to Penn State as a tailback, and he wanted to play, and you see the Rockheads again, and he wanted to play so much that Paterno said, well, if you want to play, you got to play fullback. And he said, blocking hurts. Low man wins in blocking, and you've got to have courage.
Hit first with a head, so it always hurts, but you've got to be able to get under the man you're trying to block, because he's coming up endeavoring to deny and hit you just as hard as you want to hit him. Evans looking to the end zone. Almost intercepted. Number 54, Marvin Jones, the rookie from Florida State, had his eyes on that one.
That was intended for Ethan Horton, the tight end. You're right. That was very close. Vince stands in there, still throws it very strongly, and knows, oh, wait a minute, I wish I had that back. Just gets away with it.
Only the third misfire for Evans, who's 9 for 12 now. 204 total yards throwing in his 14-yard run. Jones is the fourth player picked in the draft from the Seminoles. Comes out. Third down. 5. Evans eludes the rush. And it's intercepted. Threw it right into the arms of number 55, Bobby Houston. Houston's first interception of the year. And that is the pattern that has plagued Vince Evans. He's had great quarters and even some great games, but some nasty throws and interceptions crop up, and so it is on this drive.
Yeah, Dick, until that particular throw, it was a nice story unfolding here. You'll see the tight end release off the line of scrimmage and run the out. And then Tim Brown is the intended receiver, and actually Houston does a great job. It's just poorly thrown by Vince Evans and gives the New York Jets a chance to get back in control of this football game. They've lost control of it since midway through, I'd say, the second quarter.
They haven't really gotten out of deep in their own end the second half. 1:40 to go in the third, still tied at 17. On the ground and finding some running room is Johnny Johnson. Johnson with nearly 10 yards on the block right up front from the two men who are the substitutes, Duffy and Dixon.
Look, you can see Archell. That's after the throw by Vince Evans, and you can see he's looking right at Vince Evans. What are you doing? Just take the ball, sit on it, we'll take the field goal. Don't make the mistake there.
Well, that's about as animated as you'll ever see Archell. Coming out of his show.
Yes, that's absolute mayhem when it comes to Archell.
Talk about your 2-hour movie of the week. For him, that's about all he's got in there. In fact, we asked Jeff Hostetler the difference between Bill Parcells, his former coach of the Giants, and Archell. And he had to pause. He said because it's just the opposite of one another.
I'll give you what he said. The quote I thought was very cute.
2nd and 1. And good read by the defense. Brad Baxter denied as Wallace came up from linebacker to help out on the tackle.
You mentioned Hostetler and the comparison between Bill Parcells and Archell. And Hostetler said when it came to Bill Parcells, he played mind games first. Archell plays them dead last.
That's the last thing he does.
Yeah.
Let you play. He played the game. Hall of Famer, as he's put it. He said he lets you play until you don't do it well. Then you hear from him.
Yep.
Whereas Parcells gets into your mind right off the bat. 2 different ways, 2 successful stories. Well, a loss of a yard, so it's 3rd and 2 for Boomer.
Oh, tight end was wide open.
Oh, isn't going to be good. Well, let's see the spot. Johnson catches it, and it's another kindly spot.
Oh.
Right there.
Oh, Dick. Johnny Mitchell was 4 yards past the linebacker. He was wide open. Now they're trying to get watch what happens here. He breaks out here open. You can see where they throw it out in the flat, but watch the tight end. Right there. Oh, there he is right there. There's the man in coverage. And they throw it out here in the flat. Oh, my goodness. Wait till they watch that one on tape. And it looks like they got the friendly spot.
Boy, did they ever. That was a very important spot. And the second time that the fans here in Los Angeles felt a little too generous in the Jets' favor. Final seconds will tick away here. Probably before, well, no, Boomer's going to try to get a play off before the end of the quarter. Now they wind the clock. Play action. And open over the middle. Another drop. That's 6 drops in the game. Burkett is the culprit this time. So Boomer's had the ball there. His receivers have not treated him well. We'll return after these messages from your local station. In straight week, the New York Jets building up a big early lead. It was 21-0 last week against the Eagles, 17-0 today. And the Eagles rallied to win. The Raiders have rallied to tie as we go to the fourth quarter. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. Pleased you're with us. Sunny Southern California as the Jets on second and long open the fourth from their 23. Esiason underneath and running real nice. As out of the backfield with a catch comes Johnny Johnson. Lionel Washington makes the tackle, first down, and Johnson has been the Jets' offense the last couple of quarters.
And they may have discovered something here, Dick, with motion through the formation. They run the tailback and you see him just slash through there. Just a little curl route. You got linebacker coverage. It's Joe Kelly, 57, picked him up and finally assists on the tackle. But that's something the Jets can go with now.
To the 40-yard line. This is the best field position for Esiason and the Jets in a long time. Inside handoff to Johnson, who has about 3.5. Johnson over 100 yards production. He's now got 51 yards rushing and 53 yards receiving.
This kid was a steal. Why Phoenix couldn't find a place for him to play in their offense is beyond me.
And he's young. He's only 25.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outstanding basketball player and college as well for San Jose State. Second down and a long 6. Again, the short stuff, and it'll be a first down at the 49-yard line to Johnson again. So just slipping him out of the backfield. The real quick stuff from Esiason, not asking that rebuilt line to protect him for a long amount of time.
Short drop by Boomer Esiason. It's a very high percentage completion. And you can see the pattern just right here. And all you're trying to do is clear people out with the motion and just hope that he can get in there. And it's a simple completion. If somebody misses a tackle, it ends up being a 12 or 15-yard gain.
So Johnson with 6 catches today now has 20 catches this year. And the Jets really are using that running back more than they have in the past. Trying to get outside and successfully so. Adrian Morrell this time, number 29. And Bruce Coslett said to us yesterday, this kid from West Virginia, 5th-round pick, is so exciting. We've got to get him the ball.
Figure out a way to get it done. He does a nice job here of bouncing outside, too. The play's called to go inside. Runs through the tackle of Townsend. That's a nice job. Normally, a young back will cut outside, bounce outside too early, and the pursuit catches him. He got it up in there, sucked the defense in, then bounced to the outside.
11 yards on that carry. He's been used sparingly, but he's averaged 6.5 yards per rush in spot duty. Really nice spinning move by Morrell, but gets him only back to the line of scrimmage. Greg Townsend, the man that invaded the backfield of the Jets. It'll be a loss of a yard.
Yeah, this Raider defensive front, they use a lot of slants, predetermined moves. It's either to the strength of the formation or to the wide side of the field. And there are sometimes, as Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, says, you know, we're going to blow you up. Sometimes you're going to blow us up just by the slants. That was one that worked for the defense.
Boomer's half comparisons, only 19 yards the second half compared to 158 throwing in the first.
Empty backfield. Blitz coming.
And Esiason just did get it away. The receiver, Morrell, didn't look in time as Winston Moss was through cleanly. The quiet storm from Miami of Florida, Moss.
And what happens is this guy's got to look quick. Here's Moss, and when the backfield empties, it looks like they've made a defensive adjustment. Okay, you empty the backfield. We're going to put one more up there than you can block. Morrell has to look quickly. He's the hot receiver. That's 5 guys in the pattern.
3rd down and 11. They're probably out of field goal range. It would take by far Blanchard's longest from this spot. So Esiason needs some yards on 3rd and 11. Good protection. Now it breaks down. And they're going to call that an incomplete pass.
Oh, you know, the umpire was standing there right there in the middle of the picture. He didn't make any motion. I think he thought that was going to be a fumble. He was looking at that like it was a fumble.
It's ruled a sack. Perhaps the referee had ended the play with a whistle, as we didn't hear it.
Well, we'll see the referee because he's on the left side of Boomer. See if he comes into the picture.
That's McLaughlin again.
Well, I think that slipped out of his hand. I really do. There's the umpire. Look, he's made no signal whatsoever. The referee's over here on the left. Watch the umpire on the right. Well, you lose. Watch the referee down here in the bottom corner. I think that slipped out of his hand.
Oh, into punt is Aguiar. Tim Brown waits. And this one driven toward the sidelines at the 10 of Brown. Brought down at the 17-yard line by Anthony Pryor. So with 11 minutes, 7 seconds to go, still tied at 17. Coliseum, the scene, the ticket sales were just over 40,000 for this game, surprisingly low considering two teams really battling at 2-2. And reasons to Nick Bell greeted by Bobby Houston and Bill Pickell. Bernie Kosar, the Cleveland quarterback, suddenly finds his buddy Testaverde getting the job. So things are boiling in Cleveland. Ethan Horton, the target. James Hasty covering on that pass from Evans.
Bernie now becomes the wealthiest backup quarterback in the history of professional football. That new long-term contract he's got.
Well, you know, Arthur Modell very fond of Bernie, and their relationship almost more than just owner-player.
Yeah, $27 million worth of relationship. That's a solid relationship.
Money isn't everything.
I understand that, especially at those prices.
3rd down and 10 for the Raiders. Evans. Little jittery, and now going to run it. Oh, he can't back up now. We're by the line of scrimmage. Brown catches the ball, but Vince Evans was 2 yards past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
You're right. He retreated. He knew he'd made the mistake. And that's a loss of down, too.
He saw the one Jets player standing in his way of a 10-yard scramble, knowing he needed 10, thought he couldn't make it, but he'd already crossed the line.
Line of scrimmage is just about the 19. Remember that. And again, it's where the ball is now in the NFL and not necessarily the player's position. But once you cross the 19-yard line, there he's going to cross the 20. You cannot retreat.
It's a 5-yard penalty and loss of down, which brings up 4th down for the Raiders. So Terrence Mathis goes back to return at the 40-yard line of the Jets. Well, this game, much of the scoring developing, at least on the Jets side, off turnovers. And then the Raiders capitalizing to tie on the field goal here in the second half. And as we move into this 4th period, 10 minutes to go, one wonders if it won't be such a break that'll set up the winning score.
That's an excellent point. And it's been so long since the Jets really did a sustained drive early in the game. If you weren't with us, they were marching right down the field. And the Raiders have made the defensive adjustments, and offense has come very tough for the Jets since then.
Jeff Gossett to punt. Jeff Hostetler yanked in the second quarter with the Raiders down 14-0. Fine kick by Gossett. Mathis fumbles at the 35 and is wrapped up at the 42-yard line. Napoleon McCallum going for the steal. Timeout with 10:13 to go. Jets with the ball, tied at 17. The real stuff at the Coliseum. You know, this game is really typical of how the AFC has gone. 3 weeks, there are no unbeaten teams in the American Football Conference. These two teams are 2-2, tied at 17. I mean, it really is a wide open race, it would appear, on the AFC side.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I'm really happy about all these buys, because the Jets have a bye next week. One of the things that it does is if you have momentum, it kind of kills it when the bye comes. And if you're struggling, the extra week of practice, I'm not sure cures anything. So you're right, it's wide open, and there's a lot of time left for this season. And I think the Raiders still got a problem trying to settle on the right quarterback, even though Vince Evans has had a wonderful day today.
Well, these buys may be giving coaches too much time to think.
Maybe.
All these quarterback maneuvering. Jets with the ball, tied at 17. And out to the 44-yard line goes Brad Baxter. And from the Coliseum, we welcome those watching the San Diego-Pittsburgh game, where the Steelers lead 16-3. here at 17-17. The Jets scored the first 17, and then Vince Evans, replacing starting quarterback Jeff Hostetler, rallied the Raiders. 2 long bombs, and it's tied at 17 with 9.5 minutes to go. Boomer Esiason off play action.
Oh, beautiful.
Throwing to the tight end Thornton, and the former Bear stretching to the 48 of the Raiders, close to a first down.
Dick, new formation there. We've seen a little motion, but they run a double tight end. Here's Thornton, the primary receiver. Watch the good fake. Anthony Smith, 94, is out there. Boomer throws it just over his arms. Thornton makes the catch. That's roommate to roommate, and it's good enough for a first down.
As you look at RoboCop from Cal State Fullerton nearby, we should point out to those just joining us, the Jets working behind a makeshift line. Starting center Jim Sweeney, starting guard Dwayne White are out with injuries. Cal Dixon and Roger Duffy replacing them. Critical center of that offensive line in front of Esiason. And that one looked as if it had more in it, but Johnny Johnson dragged down by former Jet Joe Kelly.
Along with Aaron Wallace, 51, and that both of those linebackers did a great job, because if they do not make the tackle, the C's part, and Johnny Johnson is still running.
Ball at the 47 of the Raiders, 2nd down and 9.
It's been an offensive struggle for the Jets since midway in the 2nd quarter.
All the Jets' points coming off turnovers. Won a 62-yard touchdown return of an interception by Brian Washington. Play action again. Esiason wide open. Thornton a little too tall on the pass. That one Boomer's fault, while throughout this game his receivers have been guilty of drop-itis. 6 of them dropped in the open field.
But watch Anthony Smith again get his hand up in the air as Boomer rolls, and Boomer's got to pull up and throw over, and it just makes the pass just a little too tall. Here's Smith right here. And watch when he... Good play action fake. You can see it just over the arms of Thornton.
Esiason, the #1 passer in the NFL in yardages per throw, is 18 for 35 today, 185 yards.
Mitchell.
He's got it at the 28-yard line. 2nd-year tight end Johnny Mitchell. First down for the Jets. This is their best drive since the first half.
He runs the slot corner, as it's called, and the safety there, he goes right through the screen, and the safety Hoskins doesn't rotate over far enough. And look at the athleticism here. 2 hands on that football, hangs on to it. Big first down. He was the hero last week, was 7 for 146 and 3 touchdowns. And he goes back to the huddle and he tells Boomer, hey, I've been blocking all day. Throw me the ball.
Grew up on a 150-acre farm in Mississippi, raised by grandparents. Only 22 years young. Brad Baxter. And he's smothered. 99 Winston Moss, the linebacker, at the 26-yard line, a gain of a couple. Midpoint of the 4th quarter as Bruce Coslett sends in the play.
Bruce has got a tough choice here now. You know, they're down there, they're getting into field goal range. The ball has been bouncing off his receiver's hands. He doesn't want to take a chance. He wants to make, wants a lead pipe cinch here. Doesn't want to turn the ball over. 2nd and 9. He's got to try for it.
Remember, the Jets' last field goal try was blocked. Yep. And they tried a fake field goal early in the game that was intercepted by the Raiders.
Looks like blitz.
Quick throw underneath, it's Mitchell, and he'll be close to a first down. Tackled at about the 17 by Joe Kelly.
Now there is an excellent job of reading the defense, seeing the blitz, Mitchell getting his head around, and Boomer making the reception. You see the blitz coming here, both recognize it, and watch Mitchell. Goes out, comes back in, knows the blitz is there. Boomer stays in there and makes the completion. Here's the tight end right here. He'll go out. The running back will release up underneath him, come back through, looks quick, makes the reception, first down.
Mitchell thought he had a touchdown, caught by the back of the ankles. It was a first down. Brad Baxter outside. And Baxter finally steps out at about the 10-yard line, close to another first down. Lionel Washington saved the touchdown.
He's not carried the ball much today. He's an excellent blocker. Just his 5th carry on the day. At a good bounce outside again. You see outruns Joe Kelly. Washington out there to assist on the tackle. This is a big guy. he could get the ball a lot more in my offense.
235 pounds from Slocum, Alabama. Brad Baxter gives the Jets a 2nd down and 2 at the 10. They stay on the ground. And Johnny Johnson, good second effort, has the 1st down. It's 1st and goal outside the 6-yard line. Hoskins and McDaniel in the Raiders secondary make the stop. Jets will play Buffalo next up while the Raiders go to Denver. Each 2-2. Jets ruining the fact that they let one get away last week when they had a big lead against Philadelphia at home. They lost a tough one in their opener to Denver. The Jets are close to being really something special.
I agree. They are very close to being an exceptional football team. This is a quality defense they have.
1st and goal. Boomer, plenty of time. Now he has to throw it away. The attendance today, 42,155. Surprisingly low crowd for what seemed to be an attractive matchup.
I agree. Yeah, you were talking about the New York Jets and what kind of team they are. Remember in 1992 that in a 9-day period they lost Lonnie Young, Dennis Byrd, and Al Toon, all to injuries that ended up in requirements. Loggeman blew out his knee. They were trying to insert a rookie quarterback, Brownie Nagel, and it didn't work, and that's why they were 4-12. This year, a lot of parts are there.
On 2nd and goal, Esiason, one of the new parts. Incomplete, no flag. Incidental contact. Terrence Mathis with Lionel Washington in the end zone.
Down here, it gets a little ugly if you're a receiver. The top of the screen, here's the matchup. You see Washington take the inside position, and now it's almost impossible. He grabs a little shirt, which kind of allowed, but it's part of the position, the cornerback on the goal line. Mathis goes down, no receiver available.
Kind of allowed, like kind of the IRS is going to.
Kind of, yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Going to make you pay your taxes, huh?
One way or the other.
4:40 left. 3rd and goal. Out of the backfield, complete to Baxter. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. So on comes Kerry Blanchard to try a field goal. It's not much more than an extra point.
That, even though it doesn't result in a touchdown, that was an important drive for the Jets. It's been a while since they've moved the chains. That drive started at their own 41. Did a lot of different things. And they hope they get 3 points out of it, but at least some control of the game back offensively for the Jets.
20-yard attempt by Blanchard. 1 for 2 today. And the Jets reclaim the lead, 20-17. The Raiders have plenty of time left. 4:29 and 2 timeouts remain for Archell's club. In California, plenty warm, temperature near 90 on the field. And that's Johnny Johnson in that misty cooling device, the cool zone over on the Jet sidelines. That's John Gonzalez, our director, and John Faratzis, our producer, have dibs on that all day tomorrow.
It's pretty inviting.
4:29 to go. Vince Evans for Jeff Hostetler, about to get a chance to win his team a big game. It'll be in his hands against the tough Jet defenses. Aguiar has it teed up. Just a 2-step approach, and this one's returnable.
Oh, they fight over it.
Alexander Wright, or is it this man? The Rocket. No, the Rocket is off the pad here in Los Angeles the last couple of weeks. Didn't get an awful lot, but you can see the potential with him in the open field.
They kind of fight over it here between the two of them. Rocket wins the battle. And the one thing I can guarantee you don't want to do with Rocket Ismail is miss a tackle. That is the last thing you ever want to do. And they do an excellent job of finally getting him on the ground.
So Vince Evans, a 38-year-old veteran quarterback of the Los Angeles Raiders, has it at the 28-yard line. 2 timeouts and 4:17 to go. Trailing by a field goal. Whoa. Is that called a catch? No, incomplete at the 38-yard line. It was right there for Tim Brown. Eric Thomas covering. at the corner for the Jets.
I frankly don't know how Tim Brown can miss this one. Zone coverage by the Jets. I mean, that's right there. Tim Brown, I think, is trying to turn a 10-yard completion into a 60-yard play.
And the Raiders have big plays today. Evans hitting Alexander Wright 68 yards for one score. And in the first half, it was the rookie James Jett 42 yards. Underneath and broken up nicely. Steve Smith was the target. Bobby Houston made the play.
That Houston kid is an extraordinary linebacker in that he's fast enough, quick enough to be involved in a lot of coverage. Doesn't have to leave the field, which is a big advantage to Pete Carroll and his defense.
He has safety speed.
Yes, he does.
4.45.
And he weighs in excess of what, 235, 40 pounds? That's a rare athlete.
Those are terrific linebackers for the Jets, with Clifton, the veteran, Houston, and Lewis, and then the backup, the #1 pick, Marvin Jones. And now 3rd down and 10.
Showing blitz here, Dick.
5 straight have hit the ground for Evans after a hot start. This one doesn't. First down. It goes to Jett. Eric Thomas, the defender. Here's a name to remember, and it'll be tough to forget. James Jett, rookie, West Virginia free agent.
Lot blitzes, Mo Lewis blitzes, a late blitz here, picked up beautifully by the Los Angeles Raiders. You see the late guy coming in there is Clifford Hicks, 25, and Jett runs a nice pattern here. Fakes it deep. Eric Thomas turns, buys the bluff. Hey, and Vince Evans puts it right on the money.
Jett from Shenandoah Junction, West Virginia, gold medal winner, 4x100 relay. He was second in the NCAA 100 and 200-meter finals a year ago. And timeout called by the Raiders, so they have 1 remaining. First down for Art Shell and the Raiders at the 41 of Los Angeles, with the Jets leading 20-17. First down at the 41, Raiders. Evans to Rocket Ismail, and a first down at the 45 of the Jets. All right, Jim, and Bill Parcells with a big opportunity there as the Raiders continue their drive. It's Rocket Ismail again. Eric Thomas on the coverage, and these young Raider receivers have been key to their performance today. James Jett and Rocket Ismail.
Again, look at the room that Eric Thomas, 22, is giving Ismail. And even though he's young, you can't call him inexperienced. I mean, he did everything up in the CFL. Return punts, kickoffs, run the ball, receiving. Like that field that was 60 yards wide, too.
If they had to kick a field goal now, it would be less than 50. Shager's longest is 54, but they want more than 3 as Nick Bell slams up the middle to the 28-yard line. It'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to go. The Raiders in field goal range. The Jets lead by 3.
Receivers, the speed that they have, well known throughout the league. And there is no way in the world that these cornerbacks are going to let these Raider receivers get behind them now.
Jett now with 4 catches, 86 yards. He had only 3 coming in. They give to the big running back from Iowa, Nick Bell, who's down to the 15-yard line, and the clock ticks away.
How do you like overtime?
Well, Art Shell doesn't want to tie here, I wouldn't think. This is a chance for him to pull off a win.
But they're not hurrying. I mean, he's setting up here for the field goal.
They have 1 timeout left, the Raiders.
I believe this will be a dive to one of the running backs.
Oh. Evans looking for something bigger. Scrambles. And Evans dragged down at the 7. First and goal, Raiders.
Now they've got to go for the touchdown. At least once if you call the timeout, which they do.
With 32 seconds remaining, the final timeout used by Art Shell. 3 points down, they're knocking. Esiason wearing the pained expression of a worried New York Jets sidelines. Last week, up 21-0. They let one get away. Philadelphia Eagles. Today, leading 17-0. And now 2017. Bruce Coslett's team defensively trying to stop the Raiders, who are at the 7-yard line. First and goal. No timeouts for the Raiders. 32 seconds. And Bob Trumpy, one would expect a couple of shots into the end zone, but not risk a run here with the transition field goal team on. You could waste the chance.
That's true, except with the speed they have at wide receiver, a reverse comes to mind here. You know, you got Ismail, Jets out there. No, it's Tim Brown. You got to throw it in the end zone. No question about that. Do they blitz? Do the Jets blitz?
Evans.
Brown right in the middle.
He stopped at the 1-yard line. Almost. The second effort by Brian Washington saved the touchdown. Lott and Washington denying the score. But the clock is running now.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. No hurry.
Second and goal. Evans looks like he just wanted to set up and down the ball.
Yeah, now the officials, because the Jets were slow getting over there.
The clock didn't start.
No, not at all.
For sure.
Wait a minute. The umpire's coming in. We're going to have an adjustment to the home clock here. The official time is stated by the league as on the scoreboard, but kept on the field.
The game clock had never started. There should be 7 seconds on the clock. 7 seconds.
The head linesman has the clock. HL on his back.
Now what do you do?
Reset the clock showing 7 seconds.
And the flag is going to drop and the clock is going to start immediately. Big chance here.
Vince Evans, second and goal on the 1-yard line.
As soon as the umpire walks away from the football in the middle of the picture, the clock will start. Now it should start. It didn't start.
Nick Bell. Touchdown, Raiders. With 4 seconds to go, amongst considerable confusion. And it's Jeff Hostetler, the starter, yanked for Vince Evans late in the first half, and Evans delivering. And for the second straight week, the New York Jets letting a huge lead escape. Oh, my. A 72-yard drive in 11 plays. And they used all the time but 4 seconds. Jaeger tacks on the extra point. 24-20. And it was Evans' arm and his scrambles.
Dick, this is the pass to Tim Brown. He runs a simple square-in unit. You should see him show up here immediately. There he is. And Tim Brown was waiting for a long time. Ronnie Lott in the coverage. Stopped just short.
Brian Washington and Kyle Clifton saving the touchdown.
Brown on the outside. You see the clear out by Jet 82. Then Ronnie Lott sees Tim Brown standing right there. Excellent job of tackling to keep him out. And then from split backs, the Raiders run the sweep to Ethan Horton, 288. Nice pull by Max Montoya. Steve Smith with a big block. And Nick Bell in the end zone for what appears to be the winning touchdown.
Nick Bell, who had not carried all season, injured in the preseason, finally healthy enough to see some duty today, and the 250 pounds driving the Raiders into the end zone for an apparent victory. And Evans, who has been looking to the sky all day long, has found divine assistance today. And for the Jets, a young team, how difficult it is to have a game won at home, and Philadelphia rallying 35-30 and having a 17-0 lead today, 2017 down the stretch, and it's Vince Evans' day.
Yep.
Much criticized, including this broadcast booth, that Jeff Hostetler getting the early hook, but Evans delivered. It was his day, and he has won the game for the Raiders.
And how many questions will it take following this game before someone asks Art Shell, who's your starting quarterback? So time for the kickoff, and
You can be sure that Jager's just going to scoot one down along the ground here. No, he's going to actually kick it in the air, and of course the clock won't start here. Unless, well, no, he's going to bring it out. No, it will. He didn't have to run it out. They would have given him a chance for one play from the 20, and now the game is over. The Jets have been defeated. The rallying force, Vince Evans, 24-20.
What a day for him.